So good morning, chemistry students. I am going to try to show you how to do the ideal gas law. I know you've been doing a lot of calculations without me to like go over them and help you with them. So most of the first few are kind of easy because you only have maybe two variables, maybe P and V because T is constant, or P and T because V is constant. Well, on this one, you've got everything. Everything is going on at the same time. And the first thing that you know I'm going to tell you is you have to be careful of your units. You have to keep up with them or else everything's going to be scrambled up. Okay, go to class. So when you're doing them, the way that you know which units to use is you have to look at R. So I like to just call this PV equals nRT because that's easy to remember. I don't have to think about all those words, just PV nRT. P is pressure, V is volume, N is moles, R is your constant. That's given to you. You don't have to figure it out. Somebody already did that work. It's figured out, and you have temperature. But this value for R is what determines what all your other units have to be in, or else they won't work. Okay, so R, I've written it over here. I hope you can see it is 8.31. It's got a lot of units on it. Liters, kilopascals, so that's your volume and your pressure, over Kelvin moles. So that's a crazy unit, but that tells you what the units for everything else have to be. So your volume has to be in liters. If they give it to you in milliliters, you have to change it to liters. Your pressure has to be in kilopascals, which means if they give it to you in atmosphere or something else, you have to change it to kilopascals before you put it in this formula. Temperature has to be in Kelvin. I probably wrote 15 times on your paper, don't forget to convert to Kelvin. Please don't put degrees Celsius in there. It's going to mess up your answer. You have to convert to Kelvin. It's really easy. Plus 273. That's it. Plus 273. And there are no units on Kelvin. It's just K. And then moles, you should all know how to do moles. Okay, so we're going to work this. I'm going to do 12.5, which is on page 342 in your book. I'm just going to do it straight from scratch. I'm going to show you kind of another way you can do it other than the way they did it in the book. So in the book they tell you you fill a rigid steel container. That's important because that means that the volume is not going to get bigger than this. Has a volume of 20 liters. So we know that V is 20 liters. In nitrogen gas into a final pressure of 2 times 10 to the 4th kilopascals. So pressure is 2 times 10 to the 4th. Don't forget that thing. Kilopascals. If you want to write it out, that's going to be 2, 0, 0, 0, 0. Remember all of our standard notation. Okay, and then it tells you it's 28 degrees C. So T equals 28 degrees C. You are going to have to convert that to Kelvin. So we just take 28 plus 273, and you're going to get, let's see, 301. 301 K. Please use this number. Don't use that number. We know R because it's our constant. So then we can just stick everything in. Now the way they did it in the book is they knew that they were solving for N because it asks how many moles. They knew they were solving for N, so they just solved this whole equation for N before they started. So they said, I want to get N by itself, so I need to divide by RT, divide both sides by RT. So they started with that. That's the way they started, and they just put their numbers in to plug away. If that messes up your brain, you can just put them in the way it is here. Like I can put in 2 here, and I can put in 20 here, and multiply those. I can put in my R of 8.31 here. Now don't forget your N. N times 8.31 times 301, and then you can solve for N. It doesn't matter which way you do it. Okay, so I'm going to do it, they did it this way in the book. So I'm going to do it this way where I just put it in the regular formula and then solve for N at the end. Because if you look in the book, you can see this one. Okay, so if I want to put it in, I'm going to put my pressure in first. I'm going to have 2 times 10 to the 4th kilopascals times 20 liters equals N, which I don't know, that's what I'm looking for, 8.31, crazy long 2.1K. All right, so when I solve this, I have, so this is the same as 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 times 20. Wow, that's a lot of zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. Okay, you get that, and then you get N times 8.31 divided by T. Oh, they didn't work it out for me. That is so not nice. I don't think I have a calculator. Ah. Okay. So 8.31 times 301, 2501. Ooh, that's ugly. 2501. Now, at this point, your K's have canceled. So this is liters, kilopascals, mole at this point because your K's have canceled. That's on the top, that's on the bottom. They've canceled out. All right, and this thing is some crazy kilopascal liter. I'm just going to double check my math. Yay me! Okay, so I'm right. So now I have N over here. I need N by itself. So I got to divide both sides by this 2501 crazy thing. Ooh, that's ugly. My penmanship has gotten poor. Okay, so I'm going to take this number divided by 2501, and that equals 160. Please be right. Oh, yeah. They just changed theirs to scientific notation. So if you got 160 and you're like, they got 1.6, I'm wrong. You're not wrong. They did 1.6 times 10 to the 2, which is the same as 160. So that's N, so it's 160 moles. The way you know, so you have this crazy thing. Okay, so then when we take this unit, we put it down here, you'll see that these two cancel out, and then you just have moles left in your answer. So that's how you know you're right. So this is your correct answer. Yay. If you get stuck with any, please email me, although it's really difficult for me to explain on an email how to do something like this. Please, please look at your examples. Walk through the examples. If you get stuck and you don't understand why they did something in the example, then email me and I can probably figure it out. I did put my email on the instruction page on the back of that packet. V Tompkins, don't forget the P, don't add an H, Tompkins @zenithacademy.org. Or you can find me on Instagram. Had to make it private because there's some creepos out there. But I will friend you if you ask for me. And just let me know what you need. And I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.